Good evening, everyone, for another episode of Market Watch. Today is August 4th. You have myself, like last week, but unlike last week, we have Doug back in the house, ladies and gentlemen. But before we give him a round of applause, I must first welcome you all properly with this amazing piece of music. Rise up. Market Watch. Welcome back to another episode of Market Watch, and I'm a little the sheep's in there.
It's
There's
there.
The sheep in there.
Who did that? Who did that?
Crazy. Keith snuck a random sheep in that soundtrack, and I love that so very much. And you know what? This now becomes nope. Yeah, a round of applause for Keith. And also, Doug, you get something more exciting. You get a nice little popcorn.
How are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's nice that the markets are nice and green and exciting again, and maybe bottoms. We'll see. Jury's still out on that if you ask me. But things are looking kind of nice again. So I bought some more Sol over the past 4 days, and I feel pretty good about my buys.
160s-ish?
Yeah, I got the first big buy. I buy Solana, a little bit of Solana every single day, and Bitcoin. But I made some bigger buys of Solana at 168, 162, and then 164 again. So, you know, I was pretty happy with it.
Hey, respect the DCA.
Yeah, man. How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little still out of it. I made some fun errors at work today. I just realized I'm like, oh, my mind's still in vacation mode. I'm like, oh, I didn't attach that file. Like, oh yeah, sorry. That's not normal. Yeah, so I'm coming back from vacation with the Jersey Shore for a week, and I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things. So, but we had an awesome time, and your
brain is still in Atlantic City.
We didn't go that far. We thought about going there one night because it did rain on Thursday, Friday. I haven't been there in a minute. Actually, quick story on that 21st birthday. No, we were down there for another friend's birthday.
Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great 21st birthday.
Oh yeah, this is like my 20s selling life insurance. Got no money, like $150 my name. Harris, my friend likes the the blackjack, so I'm like, I'll help partake. That's there. Won like 10 grand like within like 3 hours. It was like the best worst thing. It was
10 grand.
It was the best worst thing. What's that?
How was it the worst thing?
Because then after that, it's like you have that expectation. It's like, oh, I could do that. Like then it's just like that part of just it could happen again. It hasn't happened again. It does not happen again. But it was a good time. So anyway, but no, we did not go to Atlantic City.
You want to know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of like getting the first time you dive into crypto and that first altcoin you buy really pops off and you're like, I'm a genius. I can do this all the time. And then your next 12 meme coins are just garbage.
So it's funny you say that. Just on a quick side note, we should do some type of, because I've seen a lot of NFT chatter here and there. Whatever it is, right? But people are actually telling stories of the past cycle. I'm like, oh, there was like things that happened that aren't like absolutely horrible. Like there was like some element of like, we'll call it culture, but before crypto lost the plot. So anyway, I'm curious for your adventures in the past where there was, purpose. So one day let's chat about that.
Adventures in the past where there was once purpose.
Crypto. Yeah, we're crypto. Like your world and my world, we were a different world. But to your point, like I know the feeling you just were described, and like it's like, well, what was yours? Was it an NFT or was it a token or was it both?
Oh, I bought a coin and it went up.
Yeah, you're like, hey, okay, I understand this now. This is why people like this space.
Oh well, when I first got in, it was 2017, right? So I just bought any altcoin and everything was going up, and I was like, oh, I'm God. I am a genius. No one is better than me. And then I didn't sell anything and just rode that entire bag down. And luckily, actually, I did sell one. I sold Dent, which gave me like a 72x over about like a 48-hour period of time. It was wild. There's a coin that one of my buddies in Oklahoma was like, hey, man, I saw this on Reddit. You should buy it. And I was like, you're right. I should buy it. I'm a genius. I feel good about this because you're telling me and I trust you, Blaine. And meanwhile, this is my friend who has committed insurance fraud twice. So I'm just like, I trust you. And then it ended up being great. But then I rode all my other bags all the way down. And thankfully, I held on to one of those coins, Engine Coin, all the way through to the next cycle. And it gave me a 100x still.
Really?
Yeah, it gave me a 100x still because I still had bought it. I bought it originally at just above 2 cents and it went to like $2.40.
Now that's something to say. That's good. See, those are good stories. Things that
Yeah.
I'm
And
curious
then,
anyway.
made a ton of mistakes all around that one good decision. So,
That's how it works. But then you get better. Then you get a little better. Then you
you get
start
a little
figuring
better,
it out.
get a little better each time.
Yes.
You build a
Yes.
strategy and you realize you're not too smart. And that's actually better knowing you're not too smart because then you build a strategy for your mindset.
100%. And honestly, I was saying the other day, I feel bad for anyone who's new to trading. Let's just say you dove in January, first time into crypto. I can imagine that is you've had an interesting journey to say the least, and I don't know. So I'm being observant of the different types of markets where in the past you're saying, hey, I bought something and went up only. It was so easy. It's not that easy anymore. So if you are someone who's new and are finding success, I applaud you because this is definitely a challenging time to say the least.
Well, Doug, on that note, and also, to financially advise the people, especially Alex, what would you say is the most important thing that you have changed from, you could really buy pretty much any altcoin, all the altcoins will swing upwards. You can sell, take profits. You can't do that anymore. So what's the most important thing now?
Wow. That's a good question.
For me, the answer is you really got to follow the money. You really got to follow the money. If the money's going to Ethereum and Solana, you can't play in these other altcoin ecosystems. Otherwise, the risk is too high. That for me was true before, but it's particularly true now.
It's funny because it's a 100% valid point because I trade primarily in when I am, which is not much anymore at all. In the Solana ecosystem is just knowing like, hey, these are how markets move there because it's an active, blockchain. I would assume in a not so active blockchain, it's different, right? So it'd be harder to find those markets of where things where you can find opportunities to trade profits. And to your question earlier, to trade to find profits. This is definitely a trader's market, without a doubt. But it's very different where it used to be. You could buy and hold, right? If you do it properly. But it's this time it's not that. And I think some folks benefit from that, and others don't. But just being aware of what this market is and what it's not is probably the most important thing I would think about when you're trading.
I also really like how we were talking about this. Alex snuck into the back room and turned on the music.
Did he? Really? I can't hear.
I saw him sneak into the background. He was like, like a dad opening the door to like his son and his friend having a sleepover and just like, turning the lights on or something, or like leaving some snacks and like closing the door and like fucking off again.
Do I have to change the lights? I have to change the lights in here maybe too with the music going.
No. It's a good lighting. It's nice.
We're good. But yeah, so that's just for answer your question. Long answer to your question. It's perspective still. I'm just understanding that this market is not the same as other markets and appreciate it for what it is.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to talk. We're going to dive into some. Wait, oh my God, Alex! I could sense a disturbance in the force. No night driving. Nice, appreciate it, man. Well, we're going to dive into some charts and stuff like that. Before we do, I do want to highlight the Fed watch, because I think the most important thing is like, at the end of this week, we have a potential macro event. You could see some tariff news come out, particularly directed at China and India, because of pressure mounting on Russia to announce some kind of peace deal or plan with Ukraine. And if that doesn't happen, that's a deadline that Trump has hit them with. And that means they would get hit with more sanctions. However, Russia already has a bunch of sanctions on them. So what could the United States do? Tariffs on people who buy Russian oil. The biggest buyers of that, China, India, and Turkey. So we could see some big tariff news announced near the end of this week, or maybe even a trade deal announced with India that could actually be a boon to the economy, right? So keep your eyes open for that. But I think the most important thing are rate cuts and the chance of us getting them. And if we share my screen here, one sec. Come to the Fed CME watch here, which if you are trying to figure out what the odds of us getting rate cuts or rate hikes or a continuation of rates at the same rate that they're at, this is the place to go. And you can see that there's currently a 94.4% chance that at the next Fed meeting, we finally get another rate cut.
Wow. I thought it'd probably be a little lower. I think that's a little too high. I'm still very optimistic, but that's high.
It was at 86% this morning. So this is news. Yeah. And then, we can look at you can see all the other Fed meetings up here too. So that's the 17th of September. At the end of October as well, there's a 67.6% chance that we get another rate cut on top of that. So there is right now a 67.6% chance we have 2 rate cuts before the end of this year. There's a 30.8% chance that we get 1 rate cut and then we maintain. And then there's one more meeting. There is currently a 56.7% chance we get 3 rate cuts before the end of this year. So if you're asking what is the most important thing that is from a macro standpoint that is driving the market right now, it is the expectation of us getting 2 rate cuts before the end of this year. Definitely 1, but potentially 2, and maybe even a 3rd. And for those of you who don't know why this is important because as rates get cut, it becomes cheaper to borrow money. And then more people borrow more money, which increases the amount of money floating around in financial markets, and therefore more money to go into assets, particularly good for risk on assets like altcoins in particular, because the more money there is, the safer, air quotes, of an environment it is. So that's the scenario people are front running right now, is maybe us even getting 3 rate cuts. So yeah, Doug, were you paying attention at all to that? It seems like no.
No, so like, this is fantastic. Thank you for catching me up on I had 40% of what you said. Now I have a full picture. So thank you. So everything now then turns to more of the, well, what has the market priced in based on what's here and what's not here, right? And what's the expectation of what's coming? I think it's what everyone's trying to figure out right now.
The rate for September already priced in, right? That's the question.
And then for me, the other part is like, I have no reason not to be bullish, right? Overall, there's nothing there. The piece for me, and I saw, by the way, I'm just to Alex. I think I want to request another section that we can go through. I want to show you graphs and infographics of things I collect during the day for my job that I think are relevant here, but they're not like, I think other people get bored with the economic stuff. It's more the infographics themselves. And I'll just do one. We'll do one for now.
Go for it. Unless we all get hot and bothered about it.
No, not that.
I might get hot and bothered about it.
I want to show you tools too. So can you see this on like a bar chart here?
Yes, and let me get this
all
on
right.
Okay.
While you're flipping it here. So this is I think it's a Goldman. Yeah, it's a Goldman Sachs, their chart of the week. I didn't even know they do a chart of the week, but now I know. This is trying to gauge how much of the tariffs are priced in essentially, or where they're passed through at this stage. And so their estimate was that by this time this year, so right now, August 4th, that 65 to 75% of those tariffs would have been passed on to, let's say, the economy, like through the business there. Right now, they're only anticipating that they are only 40% of the way there. So they're still anticipating there's still going to be more coming through in the next, for the remainder of the year itself, or with the next Q3. I haven't been following earnings as much as I've wanted to so far. I have to get in sync with that, but trying to really understand how much of that is actually being passed through from consumer side, from the business side. As of right here, their last survey, 50% has been passed on to the consumers of that 40%. So 50% to the consumers, 40% to the businesses, and then the rest is through foreign exporters. But the mix, though, of the change of where they actually anticipate it being is going to be much more on the consumer side. So you talk about wage growth or lack thereof, and like that how that impacts this with your unemployment factor. To me, that whole picture is that to weigh that against the rate cuts. It's like, what is if you're doing like a tug of war, on like a way of basically saying like that's the the up and down, which one has more strength and when is how I believe this market's going to move. And those are the kind of things I'm going to be looking for over the next quarter, just on different ways to understand that the time to pay attention, if that makes sense, like really pay attention to the market. Because right now we're not there. Right now it's more just like, hey, there's all good signals, to your point earlier, and it just makes sense to be risk on, still being cautious as always. But I don't know. So a lot of moving things and trying to put them all together every day.
Yeah. The one thing is with tariffs is they typically do cause a price increase, but they typically cause a one-time price increase.
Correct.
As opposed to a series of waves of price increases. So
Correct.
Once we get the full extent of tariffs being felt in the economy, once you get it, you kind of know where it's at, right? You don't have to wait a long time to continue to read that data. So once the Fed feels comfortable with, okay, this is the impact of tariffs, now we can compare that against the impact of the rest of the supply and demand and supply constraints of the economy and how that affects prices, and understand where we are at with the ability to cut rates.
Correct.
So like they'll be able to come to that decision pretty quickly. So we could really get three rate cuts. And if the labor market data gets worse, after this massive correction, for those of you who are unaware, 258,000 jobs were revised to the downside in the months of May and June, which is an astronomically large revision. So, I mean, like jobs were still added in those months, but not nearly as much as we had once thought, which made sense. They seemed like big numbers, but we ran with it. So, if those numbers end up being low a little bit, inflation seems to be understood by the Fed, we could really get those rate cuts.
See, I had a chart perfect to talk about that, what you just said. It's like the perspective of the revisions back, I think it was 60 to 75 years, like showing how really I cared about the last like 3 decades, showing where the current ones are relative to the past. It's just different perspectives, right? To gauge like, well, yeah, it's big. Actually, it was very big. But it's almost that it's not uncommon in general, right? For I think the way I was looking at it was the rate cuts or sorry, the adjustments, revisions almost usually definitely follow the trend of what they're saying. So actually I'm talking myself now into being more bearish. But lost train of thought. Let's go move on. I'm not going on that path. I don't want to go on that path right now.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say, man, hey, if we're looking down 3 more rate cuts, because in 2024 we had 3 rate cuts also, or was it just 2? It was just 2.
Two.
Just 2. Yeah. But the thing is when you start going through, like if you go through a period of pauses and then cuts, or hikes and then cuts, that first cut typically, historically, you see a dip in markets because buy the rumor, sell the news, right? But then you enter a long period of rate cuts, and typically the market recovers and starts to do well because debasement of currency.
So yeah, just trade crypto.
Yeah, just trade crypto, man. Trade crypto and buy Pokemon cards. Go to courtyard.io. This isn't sponsored, but do it. It's a lot of fun.
What is it?
Courtyard.io. You didn't watch our episode with Courtyard. How dare you?
When was this? Was I on vacation? I try to disconnect you.
Okay. Yeah. We had Nico, the CEO of Courtyard, who is the #1 buyer of Pokemon cards in the world now. And
really?
Yeah. And it uses it uses Polygon in the background, so it verifies your opening of digital packs. They do sports cards and other things too. On the blockchain, and then the representation of it gets destroyed on the blockchain once it gets sent to you, because they'll send it to you physically, or you can just have it and you have digital proof of ownership, and you can sell it immediately directly back to them for 90% of what it's worth, and then they put it back on the market again.
You're saying like crazy stuff. That sounds like utility, like actually something that
I almost was like, dude, it's not crazy. This is real. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's actually useful stuff.
See, that's what I'm talking about. People just talk about these things more frequently. Obviously, do here. We do up the Rise Up Morning Show, but in general, outside of it, those pockets don't exist anymore. It's sad. It's sad. That's all. Well, they're coming back. They're coming back.
I saw a question by Miltos over on TikTok, which says, "Is there a chance of getting rate hikes?" I would say no. Probably. I mean, nothing's impossible, but probably very unlikely right now, because while inflation over the past 4 months or so has been ticking up, it's been ticking up the tiniest itsy bitsy little bit each month. So it's not like inflation is wildly out of control or anything like that. So there's no need for the Fed to consider hiking rates.
It's funny, even on that note, when I was going through a bunch of Goldman stuff today, I don't know why, and was going back to some of I was looking at the forecast, the outlook from previous quarters, and just general across all the investment firms. I actually made a table. ChatGPT was a beautiful thing. But they were the ones, I think one of the first ones talking about stagflation, at least one of the scenarios, right, of that's there. And I haven't heard, that come up in a while.
That's good.
The reason is things shift, and like, not saying it was not proper to have that discussion then, but in general, it's like things change, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, dude, now from a chart standpoint, I know you tweeted about PopCat.
By the way, I have to give a shout out to like the PopCat community. Like I've gotten like
these meme coins.
they just every time I didn't realize that. I forgot. Like they're their group. They always just say, "Hey,
PopCat gave me my second ever 100x.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I just took gambling money. I took $1,000 and in 2023 put it into 10 different Solana coins, and I literally bought the PopCat coin with $100 because I was like, "Hey, Pop-Tart cat." I ate Pop-Tarts as a kid, and I did that, and then 123x. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, hell yeah!" No, wait, 117x.
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll sell this."
Wow.
Lovely.
Well, congrats on that. I
wish I had put way more money into it, but who'd have thought? Who'd have thought PopCat?
I'm having some some major flashbacks. This was one of the most exciting markets to trade. Like back, I'll try to think. Let's do a 3-day here. Sorry. When we were, yeah, this move up here above once it flipped $1 in October 2024. After that was just this thing had so much potential then. This was leading in. That's right. It was leading into the next year where it lost momentum like everything else. Where this would have at that point, I believe, would have done another 10x, like no problem, like 10 billion PopCat, no problem then. So just watching this whole thing fall apart was sad. But anyway, now things are just becoming interesting again. And, I'm looking at a 3-day chart. Actually, I'm kind of thinking that this may pull back a little further here. It actually may do that. But regardless, these memes, as people can throw shade at memes all they want. Memes now are also a good gauge of market momentum, especially Farcoin, my favorite. But they're a pulse, right? They're a pulse of what's going on, and you don't have to trade them, but it's just understand they exist and they're markets. So in some ways, they can give a leading indicator of where things go. And just seeing these bigger markets, these older, like OG, large, let's call it 250 billion, 250 billion. 250 billion? No, wow, billion dollar plus, quarter billion plus markets move. They are something to watch and be aware of because it gives you guidance and perspective.
Now, quick question for you.
Yep.
Are you worried at all about being very interested in PopCat, given that it's in the Solana ecosystem? Not that there's anything wrong with the Solana ecosystem; it's doing great. But Ethereum's the hot horse right now. So, are you not more interested in looking at meme coins in the Ethereum ecosystem?
I don't want to give an answer to that question. I guess I have so first and foremost, I'll acknowledge ETH is the ecosystem where from how ETH looks is where to be, right? There or Sol in general, right? Just one of the two to be in altogether. But I just don't, and I'm trying to keep my bias in check because I have Sol bias only because NFTs are the reason I was here way back when, because I got lucky early on. So just there and blah, blah, blah. But the memes on Sol move different than the ones on ETH I've observed, at least. And for me, it's just that they're more excited. What's that?
They just move faster.
They move faster. Their trajectory becomes more clear sooner. If it's the trajectory from, hey, I'm going to go from 500,000 to 1 million, and then 1 million to 10 million, then a 10 million to 50, like basically those levels and how long they stay at those levels, it's very different. And also too, again, for me, primarily 90% of the time looking only at Sol memes. There's also some bias there that I haven't, when I used to track ETH memes as much, that could have shifted, but like I'm aware of the big ETH memes, but when I see them, they just don't, there's nothing new and fresh coming out of ETH that comes across my radar that I'm like, oh, okay, that's going to give me a good pulse of that ecosystem, or I should be paying attention to ETH.
Yep. Did you watch the morning show this morning?
I did not. Today was answering emails before. That is the worst ever. So
Alex hit us with an interesting stat. It was Ethereum comparison to Solana. So the 24-hour trading volume on Ethereum was about like $1.4 billion, or I think it was just 1.4 billion transactions. It was transactions or dollars. Can't remember which. Either way, it was a lot of transactions, right? Yep. How many do you think Solana had in that same 24-hour period?
I actually could not even tell you. I don't even want to guess because hold on. Well, then I have more questions. Are we talking about, you said number of transactions or?
I think it was dollar valuation.
Dollar valuation? I don't know.
Oh, there's Alex. He said volume was 1.15 billion on ETH. It was over 10 billion on Solana.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's why the memes on Solana move different, because that's where people are still transacting. Total volume on chain.
It's also, I would love to see the stat of how many of them are bots and market makers at this point. Because also, too, a whole different conversation.
That was for Alex.
I need another show. I want to go through, just as a side. I'm now trying to create a library of different market structures of memes at different durations of their existence and levels, and trying to just because now it's like the market makers for those markets are different than the ones for the bigger markets, but also too, they also are very predictable in nature. It's just super interesting to me because it's something that hasn't existed before. It's almost like it just constantly, although they end up saying, hey, I'm dead, or I'm going to become a thing quickly, it's just a lot of information that's there, and so it intrigues me.
Well, do you have any charts you want to bring up right now? Otherwise,
I don't. I mean, we do try. I'll just do it on the fly, honestly, because it's probably better for me. So let's just do that.
I'm kind of itching to throw Ethereum up on the chart right now.
You want to do it? You want to do it? I jumped on.
Did
you do it?
I'm doing it.
You got it. I'll stop sharing.
Now, what I'm looking at here on Ethereum is the Ethereum weekly chart. And Doug, if you can get an assist.
I got you.
Thank you, sir. This is the Ethereum on the weekly chart. Now, if we zoom out here, right, this is the general consolidation shape that Ethereum is in. This big, massive, massive triangle. The breakout of this triangle, if we were to get above it, we measure from the thickest point. Let's just say the breakout happens right here. You're looking at a $7,700 Ethereum. Okay, it's not going to happen immediately when it happens, but like over a period of months. Now, what's very exciting is we may be getting close to the actual breakout of that. When I say close, the next number of weeks, because I'm getting a long signal, a buy signal flashing on Ethereum on the Moxie indicator, which if I just clean up this a little bit to make this a little bit more simple here, cleaner. This indicator here, it has crossed the zero. Each time we have gotten a long signal here, you had a long here signal at $2,300, you had to run up to $4,000. You had your first long here from $1,800 to $4,100 here. You had a long signal flashed here at $193, went all the way up to $5,900, right? And we're starting to get this long signal flashing now here. Now, this is not confirmed. This weekly candle has to print. It can't, break lower. We need this candle to print. This long signal could be a false positive. But if this weekly candle ends and this long signal here flashes, it has a pretty strong track record of saying, hey, things are about to rip. If this rips, this will break above this top line of resistance and finally begin the bullish breakout on Ethereum that has been building since 2021 and start to send Ethereum, hopefully, to $8,000. And that to me is the most exciting thing that I'm watching on any chart, is just Ethereum finally starting to get ready to get set up to prepare to make a new all-time high. And that's where you're going to have like some real gangbuster altcoin kind of moments, right? And that's the most exciting thing to me in the market at this current point in time.
So keep that. Oh, damn.
Oh, shoot. Shucks. Dang it. Tartar sauce. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, it's okay. I want to add to the point there you're making. There's a good point. So for me, like this, like that view, the only thing for me is that like I'll be very, very bullish. Like I'm primarily when I really was into trading, like early on, was a breakout trader, and just really looking for like the confirmation of like this weekly close to be, at least above 3,800 up there, but above that diagonal line you've drawn down, right? From the top of the triangle, getting above that and just like a quick flip and then like a consolidation for like a week or two, that to me like proved like a couple weeks. That's like I'm selling my car, gonna maybe put stuff in ETH. Like they just like not getting too ahead of myself, but just want to I can still see. I can see a rejection scenario. I'm not saying it's there, but in my head, so it's
and then come down and find some support here, right?
So that's why I want to see that like it's like the more the confluence of the bullishness have today would be much more up there with that at that higher level.
I mean, that's the safe play. That's how you play that if you want to, be safe. Is you let ETH have a little bit of a run up, comes down, consolidates a little bit, and then if it holds this, then it's I just erased everything. But then you guys get it, and then it's blast off, right? We want to see it hold that support before it goes off. Now, I'm going to look at this blind. I haven't been looking at the ETH ETFs, ETH Farside ETF, because last week, the Ethereum ETFs for the past 2 weeks have been putting up monster numbers, even for Bitcoin. Like, they're really, really, really strong. The amount of, it's not even institutional interest, it's just large retail interest has been massive. So, take a look at this. 600 million.
Zoom in there a little bit, if you don't mind, buddy. We'll zoom.
Oh, yeah. Not, buddy. These
Sweet.
old eyes.
Yeah, boy. There you go. Got it.
600 million, 400 million, 300 million, 500 million, 300 million, 200 million, 400 million, 200 million. And then you had outflows here of 152 million and 90 million. Keep in mind, on August 1st, while Ethereum had $152 million of outflows, Bitcoin had almost $900 million of outflows. And on August 4th, I think Bitcoin had like 86 million. So I think Bitcoin had a little bit less. But regardless, we are seeing some monster numbers come in for buying Ethereum through the ETF products. Almost like people are front running, staking being turned on for the ETF. That's what I personally think is happening, is you have people who know are front running it and purchasing it through the ETFs. And then when people are selling it, they're not selling it. They're selling, for every single Bitcoin that gets sold, an eighth of an Ethereum is being sold. That's pretty crazy, because the average amount of Ethereum that has been purchased each day is 36.5 million. Just 2 weeks ago, it was $22 million. And the Ethereum ETF has been live for a little while now. So the large retail institutional interest in Ethereum it's skyrocketing. It's massive.
You just sold me on ETH. Well, damn.
Hey, man. Welcome to ETH, dog. Maybe my NFTs will be worth something someday.
By the way, one of the first NFTs I actually ever minted was on ETH. It was 0.04 ETH, and I minted a rare. It was a random thing. It was like 7-8 grand, and this I got it when I first, like the first week, and then after that it was like 5 months of heart, like all gone. But at the same time, though, it was. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand how this can move very quickly. And it was more like a wake-up call too, of just of what that is. Anyway, but yeah, I'm excited on ETH now. No, I no shade to ETH. ETH needs to be successful. They all need to be successful in their own way for the broader, the broader narratives here to play out. So
yep. And I see some people in the comment section asking about Aerodrome too.
Oh,
the thing is like, you just have a lot of coins that are still being a little quiet. But the thing is Aerodrome also, it's tokenomics. It has a really aggressive issuance of supply. It has a really aggressive inflation rate. So when things fall, Aerodrome tends to fall harder. And Doug, do you want to actually pull up Aerodrome? I'd like to get your friend on it, because I've looked at it a couple times over the past couple days doing lives. And I'd be curious to get your fresh perspective on it.
Can I do that? Can I see my screen too? Just flip it easy.
I can see it on TikTok, but we can't see you here on the big screen.
No?
No.
I was there, man. I was there. Stop sharing.
Yeah, I thought I had movie magic.
Mm-hmm. Now good?
Nope. Oh, wait. Oh! Look at this. What a savant.
Okay. So I actually, AERO's like the other day. AERO's like, all right. So AERO,
I mean, Aerodrome, higher highs, higher lows, but that's barely a higher high.
This looks like, I want to say APT. No, maybe an OP. So for a while too, dude, I used to print out market like weekly charts and put them all over the floor and try to organize them by the common structures. And then eventually I started seeing that. This is when I was really into the matrix. This is when I was like staring at charts for like 6 hours a day on the reg, just doing that full time. But so anyway, like you start seeing the things and they end up doing similar structures. So I got to go back and check. I'm pretty sure this may look like a APT. Anyway, regardless, I digress. This climb here is super nice. The only thing that just right now kind of gives me a little pause is, so we go back to where was key level here. So where things went poorly for AERO was right
that big down candle.
Yeah, I need some numbers in here. I want to see some numbers. You can't see the numbers on TikTok here. There you go. Boom. All right. That big down candle, this was like at was it 78 cents? So if I mark that level, I always just give the analogy. It's like, oh, I fell off a cliff and like we were climbing back up. We need to deserve to be back above that level to start really seeing some move up. Almost like imagine like this whole bottom section never happened. Or imagine like this whole thing was just, I met a trader a long time ago that did this, where he basically just went like this. Move to the front. It's really good for range trading, by the way, too. This process. So it's almost like imagine that didn't happen, and like this is almost here, where it's like it kept going and like it's recovered. So the question is right now, does this price deserve to be above this blue line? Does AERO deserve to be above here? Can price be accepted up here, wherever that may be, and then make a move up? For me, looking at this, though, I think it may have a move back down first. But this is promising. Like this is a lot of selling going on here as it came up through this big fall down. But overall, it's a really nice market, because I remember everyone. It's in general, it's why you're attracted to it outside of the actual fundamentals, which you could speak to. I can't. But yeah, it's still an attractive market. Yeah. It just needs to stay above. I'm going to call it 80 cents. Really like to be trading above 80 cents.
The fundamental strength for Aerodrome is getting weaker, though. If you look it up on DeFi, I'll look it up here for everybody. But that doesn't mean that it can't go up in value. Fundamental adoption doesn't matter so much when the markets become really, really, really green, which hopefully they will become. What matters is that people start talking about it, right?
Yep.
But fundamental adoption, I'm going to take the screen share for a second here, Doug.
I wonder, can I just flip to my screen here?
Oh, yeah, you can. Wow. This is nice. We're going to have to tell Evan and Alex how you did this. Yeah. But the total amount of Ethereum here ever since the end of October has just been down and to the right. I mean, at one point we had basically 400,000 Ethereum. It was 390,000 Ethereum. And today we have 145,000 Ethereum. This is more than a 50% loss in the amount of Ethereum being used within Aerodrome. And that's worrying. Like, you should be worried about that as an Aerodrome investor, because people aren't using it as much. But the thing is that it still has a 63% market share of decentralized exchange volume within Base. So like, it's still the clear number one decentralized exchange user. And this might just be a sign that people aren't doing a ton of swaps on Base and haven't been since October. But the thing is the total amount of Ethereum within Base has been on the rise. So something weird is going on here, and people aren't using Aerodrome much. Or they're just not using Base to do swaps, which I also don't necessarily believe, because I have been. I know other people have been. There's still a lot of coins on there that you can't get anywhere else other than being on Base. So, but that's the fundamental standpoint for Aerodrome. It certainly has been weakening to a fairly large extent, but you don't necessarily need that, because a lot of people think Aerodrome is a super great strong coin. I think it still is. And when it starts going upwards, people will start talking about it. It'll get mind share again, and it'll be one of those coins that can do very, very well. Plus, it's not on Binance yet, and I think it will get listed on Binance eventually, if Binance ever does a vote to list campaign again.
So with that context, thank you, by the way. This is one of those markets where, to your point, like in general, everything, if Bitcoin, the bigger markets are bullish and they continue to be bullish, everything becomes bullish in some regards, right? That's just, for the most part, that's there. However, I always have projects in the back of my mind, or markets that where, let's just say, there is a larger pullback on the big ones for whatever it is. If it's next week, if it's next month, these are the markets like this here. If it's showing weakness at that time, that I would be looking for opportunities to short, because you want to short the weaker markets. And if there's a fundamental reason for it to be weak too at the same time, it gives you more confidence in that setup and a higher probability of success with that, where you're not just say, I'm going to go short the thing that everyone's chasing because it's just pumped so much because I know it's going to come down, which, by the way, there hasn't been a lot of those. Talking out loud here. There hasn't been a lot of your renders of the world, or like a fart coin, or like any of the big markets like making big moves, like, and they're like kind of isolated where they're getting attention. It hasn't happened in a while. Now I'm thinking about it. Anyway, so
I mean, like a lot of the AI coins have been super quiet too. I think of Render as an AI coin, not a.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was just thinking just like anything that just like really drew attention from the entire space of something that's just like a unique, like the chart of the month, let's call it, maybe that's there. But anyway.
Yeah, and then I have this question here from Magic over on YouTube. Does Aerodrome power the Coinbase wallet? Yes, it does. It is the decentralized exchange that you use when you make a swap within the Coinbase wallet. And Doug, do you have any targets for Aerodrome?
Oh wow, hold on, let me go back. So if I were to say, it's hard because this is where I don't want to give my honest opinion right now. Is like if
it's not above that blue line.
If it's not above that blue line, I don't want it. Like, I just put it that way. And if I'm someone who is in profits down here, let's say you're in profits at, you got it at 50 cents here, I always make sure you have a plan to get out if there is a pullback, where you're saying like, hey, I bought at 50 cents, I'm going to sell if it gets to 60 cents and stick to that plan, whatever it may be. I would just do that because, so for me, I have zero interest in buying this right now. Does not mean it can't go up. It's just not in that area. I would have much more interest in shorting just by looking at this right now, but doesn't mean it's gonna play out. But yeah,
I know you don't read candles much, but I look at the daily. This is the daily chart. No, this is the 3-day chart. So that candle right to the left, you go back to the 3-day. That is a doji candle. That's a spinning top candle on the and that last green candle you have right there.
Here's that
one right there. That is a reversal candle. That could be the sign that you might have the strength coming up to get above that blue line. But if we look at that 3-day candle we're working on right now, that's potentially a setup for the beginning of a bearish candle and a break and a rejection from that key line of resistance. So, you have a little bit of bullish sign, a little bearish sign. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. If you can break that line, you're solid.
So this is a 8-hour chart now. Again, why I have these random time frames, I don't know. But like if this 8-hour closes here, which I don't have my countdown timer on, I don't know why. Like these are kind of things where I would look for. These are my shorts I look for, like this, like just that, where it's very clear at lower time frame where your invalidation level is based on those highs. If it made sense to do that based on the other markets that are how they're moving, right? Not necessarily treating this in its own vacuum. So you are correct. I really don't use candles in general. The only reason I use candles is for wicks, is for stop losses, roughly, just to gauge kind of where I see pockets of demand or supply. So,
Doug, I think about it every single time I open up my charts now, and I change the time interval, and I'm a little upset at you each time I do it because now I have to scroll through.
It's the worst. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm trying
right now. I'm like, this fucking 8-hour time frame's on my chart now too, and I look at it every time, now, Doug.
I'm sorry. By the way, someone actually, I'm trying to think who it is. I think it might have been. No, it's not him. Someone introduced me to 3 hours, and that was it. It was over. Like, why did I even look? Actually, when I first started, like way back, when I spent a lot of money on indicators. By the way, kids, what's that?
What's the point of looking at the 3-hour when you have the 4-hour?
Exactly, right? It's like when I first started buying every indicator that was out there because I thought you needed them. No shade to indicators, but you don't need them to be successful in this space, especially for someone who gets really into details. Anyway, I don't know what it was. I want to say it's one of the market cipher videos that was like, or it was someone teaching it. I used 24-minute. It was like 16 minutes, 24 minutes, and like random things. Like it's for the ops of the algos, man. It's like whatever it was something that stuck in my head. I'm like, come on. And then for 2 years, I was using these random things. I'm like, no, this is nonsense. So, but now I have 3-hour charts and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12. Why not 7? Why not 7?
No, it's too much, Doug.
Okay.
Too much.
All right. What's next?
I'm crazy with power.
What's next?
I want to give you a quick little story, and then I'm going to give a quick little commercial, and we'll switch to something.
Do that.
The story is I was on Twitter, as I am, and the Kobisi letter, which, by the way, if you guys aren't following the Kobisi letter, very, very phenomenal macroeconomic Twitter page. You should go give him a follow. Now, he tweeted a particular chart, and it was the beef chart.
You tagged me in that. I didn't get a chance to respond back. Yeah.
You are unaware, in the first ever episode of Market Watch we did on Monday, we spent a little bit of time analyzing the beef chart, and we're like, dude, long beef, man, this is great. And then like a month later, I see a bunch of people on Twitter being like, oh, dude, beef is like really gone up. Long beef, brother. Long beef.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We just want to find the best charts. I don't care what it is. I don't care.
Sometimes it's beef.
Yeah, sometimes it's beef.
Oh, also, everybody, Mr. Robo goes, beef baby. I stole it from dudes I listen to. I want to let everybody know that the Rise Up community is moving from Discord to Circle. We've been talking about this for a while now. If you don't know what Circle is basically, if Discord was easier to use, cleaner, and more well organized, as well as more secure. So we have officially begun moving folks from the Discord community over to Circle. We will be refreshing our links so that when you go to the riseupmorningshow.com, it will direct people to the Circle. When you go to my page, there'll be a link to the Circle page so that you can get involved in the Rise Up community. Why would you be interested in doing that? You can build your network for free, get connected with people who want to teach you, ask myself, Evan, Alex, Doug questions as well about the market. We will address those questions. Sometimes it's hard to get to everything. And also there will be a technical analysis community in there if you've signed up. There will be a community for developers, a community for people who want to learn how to get a job in the cryptocurrency space, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So it's going to be exciting and fun. It's going to be such a better experience. So looking forward to getting you guys all set up on that.
Yeah, I want to get set up.
Yeah, dude. We'll get you in there like tomorrow or Wednesday.
Sweet.
Hell yeah, man.
Sweet.
Yeah. Now, guys, I was just about to ask, we'll take suggestions from the audience and start just doing a quick look at the chart. And Prem Bilal on TikTok asked for Avalanche immediately. So also comment from Mr. Robot. I don't think I should work in the crypto space. I cannot be trusted. It's good to know your own self-limitation.
Hey, I respect that. Also, so hold on here. Let's do this back here.
Also, real Sammy, we'll take a look at PENGU for you too. I saw you asking that for a few times, so we'll do that also after.
Major cope with PENGU. I had massive airdrop, massive. Whoa, lots of squiggles here. Lots of squiggles.
I haven't been on this chart about what are you doing on Avalanche? It's almost like you started charting without a Diddy party.
So Avalanche is a interesting one. So Avalanche, let me clean chart. No, I need this one because I need the levels there. Very good practice is to mark key levels. I rarely ever do it. I think they may have like 3 done, and Avalanche is one of them. And even if you just do like the monthly levels, it's very helpful and puts things into perspective, and you can't see them because this text is so freaking small. But each one of these pink lines is a monthly level, like just a key level, either being support or resistance, and this is at that level. Like this is 2485, let's call it, right? Let me move this here. So this is my level here. It says 2485. I want to be trading above it to be bullish, below it, meh. That's all I got. Because this looks like it wants to reject again. This looks like it wants to maybe this. That would be a nice move. Otherwise, it needs to find strength like immediately and to get up here and stay up here and then to finally move up. Otherwise, I mean, this could be even range bound. Like that's, I've seen a lot of these Dino coins too. I'm not calling, actually, I can't call this Dino coin. This is I respect the Avalanche. Seeing this type of stuff happen. So what's that?
A lot of those Dino coins have shown they got a lot of run in them.
Yeah, actually, I saw Desi Tezos popping off the other day. It was a random one. I don't know what it was. It was XTZ. Is that Tezos? No,
we got a notification earlier today that Alluvium went up 11%. And I was like, what the fuck, Alluvium? I also continuously forget that I have Alluvium staking, and it was like 10% of the position that I ended up selling, and I have no idea if it's up or down. I should probably sell that someday.
I would say, yeah, that's yeah.
I should remember to do that one day.
All right, I'm gonna do one more here. I'm gonna try to find a clean chart. I can't. Oh my gosh, no clean charts. There's squiggles everywhere. This never came down.
Squiggles.
I wanted it. I wanted this down at 12. Never got it. We'll delete this for now. Okay. I hear the music now. I hear it. I see this. I change the color here. Let's do that. Back to my template.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I use a keyboard that shares between a Mac and a PC. So like during the day, like my control, copy pasta, it changes the keys and it screws me, like especially with the undo. So yeah.
But I really like to imagine that each time you look at a chart and begin to set a setup, it's just you just wrestling with the chart.
Yeah. So even like at a glance here, if AVAX gets up here, like this, boom, sender. This is where we're looking for a trigger. Like once it flips,
what's the top of that range? What's the top of the?
It's like 20, 26 bucks. 25. Let's call it 25. Make it easy. 25 bucks on the high end, 15 on the low end.
I'd like to see it make the tops of those wicks support personally. So
yes, exactly. Yes,
100%. $26, $27.
And like if that's the case, then if it does that, then obviously you start seeing things like this. I'm not gonna draw, but like that's you start drawing this stuff, right, to kind of start seeing what that bigger picture looks like. But it just needs to get above these lower levels. And I can remember back here, like when this was October. Yeah, October 23 is when getting my ass kicked in the bear market. Like I made so many mistakes. This was earlier on, it was late 2022, but didn't really appreciate what liquidity was. And when October 2023 came, like around here, I remember AVAX and Link were probably two of my best trades I've ever made. Was just that because it was just a move up into these like fresh highs and this area like had that momentum, it was just like the easiest trade. And like how I look at these, it has that like it could do that, but where it's at just doesn't feel like it has that oomph, right? So it always needs that move up here where it then can like almost give you that sense of momentum where it's ready to kind of accelerate up. Doesn't mean that it's like not a good spot now. Actually it looks all right. I'd want it to probably the weekly close to definitely get above like 25 bucks on the low end, but just got patience here. That's all. It's a good project regardless. So
I did see Fluke say on TikTok, like, hey, this looks like aerodrome setup. And I'm like, no, this isn't exactly aerodrome setup. Aerodrome is in a much better setup because it has much more significant higher lows followed by higher highs. Whereas here on AVAX's chart, you're looking at almost a double bottom and almost a double top. Like it's much more a channel of consolidation sideways, whereas Aerodrome's chart was showing more strength by having higher highs, higher lows, and moving diagonally upwards like that.
Yep. There you go.
As opposed to moving sideways.
That's your blue. There's your. I would say you definitely give him credit for saying yes. This does look like I do see the two tops here, right? And that's just to your point, Will. It just has more strength. It's more like I want to go up. Where AVAX is like I'm okay, kind of maybe going up, but it really just going sideways. I'm cool with that too.
Yeah. So there's a pretty big difference in that, and it does look. Yes. But again, the key thing you're looking for is, can this asset I'm looking at, no matter what it is, can it get above and hold the previous level of resistance? If it can, you have an opportunity for a blast off there, right? That's true. That's like one of the prerequisites you want to see on any asset that you're looking to buy.
No doubt. What's next?
I also saw a good question here, just like on how markets work, again by Mr. Robot. Thanks for being active in TikTok, brother. So for real, what triggers the buying? Just FOMO, or is it algorithms? I don't know why I said it like that. Algorithms and bots. Why should it skyrocket?
I have a sarcastic answer to that, but
give me the sarcastic answer first.
I don't care.
With an accent. Yeah,
I don't care. I really don't care. Like it's like I could think about things so much, and then that's a good question, by the way. Like the analysis by paralysis to try to gauge, like, oh, they're gonna do this or they're gonna do that. What this is one of the best things about
it's the why, right?
Yeah. But like I just and so one last thing back to my story after the bear market, once I realized, hey, this is what liquidity looks like. This is easy. I wasn't on Twitter for like 5 months. It was the most successful period of time in 6 years for me. And I didn't really care about what was happening because the charts tell you what's going on and if there's a pulse or not a pulse. So again, what those catalysts are, to me, it doesn't necessarily matter because it's almost like just something else to convince you, to give you a counter narrative to yourself and convince you something that you weren't thinking already, where it's just focus on how you want to go about your strategy, if it is with trading, and try the best. I know it's hard to filter out noise or trying to figure out what's going to make something happen or not. Now, there are catalysts, obviously, and narratives play into things altogether, but crypto's very unique and different, especially for someone coming from, like, say, the stock world, where, you know, how markets react to earnings and economic data. Now they are starting to come together, but it's not as much as it was, you know, you can make it more difficult than it has to be. Long answer to that question.
Yeah. My honest answer is, well, there was more buying than selling, right? Doesn't matter algorithms, doesn't matter if it's bots, you know, it could be one whale coming in and finally squeezing the liquidity out of people who are willing to sell. And then, you know, the market's able to drive up higher. You know, it could be that there are a lot of liquidation points for a coin higher up, and the whales and the centralized exchanges want to drive the price upwards, and they manipulate the market to squeeze those liquidation points, right? The thing that really matters, though, or not matters, but it's the why. Is like, well, why does a coin suddenly erupt in value? It's because people start talking about it, and then people dive into it in the second half of a coin. Like if you're looking just at AVAX here, if you look back at it right at the end of 2024, as I quickly proved to TikTok that I'm not a robot and I do this puzzle piece, you know, you had AVAX launch upwards and then consolidate a tiny bit, then launch upwards again, right there at the end of 2024. You just mark it out.
It's a white. It's a white. I pull out the highlighter. It's white. Like what is this? Who's psychopath?
Yeah, right there. But the thing is market makers came in and, you know, finally made the bears super tired, right? No one was willing to sell. No one else was looking to sell. The market finally started to move upwards. And then you started to liquidate some leverage positions. You got your first two big candles there, and then the market consolidated. But as those liquidation levels happened, or those mass liquidations happened, everyone on Twitter and TikTok started talking about like, oh, AVAX has started to pop off. Hey, everyone always starts talking about the coin. And then you have the second wave of people who buy in and start causing those next major gigantic God candles as more leverage positions get liquidated, forcing more buys in the market. And then the market makers who bought the bottom and squeezed out liquidity from sellers sell into those massive candles, right? And that's just kind of how the market works, right? What triggers the initial buying doesn't really matter, but the second half is always the same. It gets on people's radar screens. People dive into it in the second round. It has another big burst of life. The people that initially caused the market to turn bullish sell into that. They make the most money and they walk away. And typically those are whales.
And on that note too, by the way, great explanation is that there's also why I like memes of watching the markets there, is because it's just when the attention gets there, you start seeing like patterns of market. I'm gonna call them market makers, just like a bot. Let's say, hey, someone who has the resources and say, hey, I'm okay, you know, throwing 10, 20 grand at this market. They use bots, and so when you start seeing those larger players start coming into the spaces of, at least for this relative to the size of that market, I'm talking about memes here. It just, those things just start kind of moving, and they just like, hey, I'm gonna set it and forget it until these indicators go off, and then I'm ready to get and kind of get out. Like so those things are just naturally happening by a ripple effect of events that happen from a fundamental standpoint or some other narrative. Anyway,
I'm trying to pull up right now. My internet's being really slow, unfortunately. The amount of leverage that's in the market, because Mr. Robot also asked a follow-up question of, well, how much leverage is there really that much leverage in the market? And each year I can tell you it grows year over year. Here we go.
We're gonna see it.
I quickly pulled it up just on ChatGPT.
Oh, you got it.
I wanted to pull up year over year growth. I want to see if it can pull it up. Year over year growth. Total derivatives volume is up significantly in 2025, estimated at $24.6 billion daily, up 16% from 2024. $24.6 billion daily in leveraged volumes being traded in global crypto markets. Decentralized derivative volumes surged 138% year over year in 2024. So 2024 is compared to 2023. These crypto markets are ridiculously leveraged and wildly over leveraged, which is why when markets move, they move fast because you're causing mass amounts of liquidations. That's one of the reasons why I've been really keeping a close eye on the Bitcoin liquidity heat map from CoinGlass tied to Binance, because that will help to drive Bitcoin's price. It's probably one of the biggest reasons why Bitcoin does anything, honestly.
100%. And damn, those some crazy numbers. Like there's some things I used to track. I just, shit.
Guess what the open interest is for Bitcoin leveraged positions? right now?
I have no idea.
$70 billion. $70 billion.
Can you see what it was in 2021?
2021.
Or even just leave it a couple years back. I'm just looking for some gauge of perspective. While I'm pulling up gold here too. Oh my god.
Oh, I pull up gold here. Oh my god.
It's turns out of control.
Gold. Yeah.
I don't have.
I think
I want some gold. I don't have any gold. I have coffee. I have lots of coffee. Let's see.
The only gold I have is this gold Trump coin my friend gave me as a joke. He's a Republican, and we have like very fun political conversations, and he's one of my best friends. He has been for well over a decade, and he gave me like a gold Trump Let's Go Brandon coin, and I was like, this is fucking hilarious. I love you. Like, fuck you.
That is.
I was like, fuck you.
Yo, gotta respect that.
I had to respect it. Yeah, it was so good. So in late 2021, total Bitcoin's future interest was $20 billion. And remember, it is $70 billion now. It's an increase of $50 billion.
Oh, I forgot. That's still, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
So leverage this market just gets more and more leveraged every single year.
I forgot I got the ticker here too. By the way, so I gotta show you this. One of the guys in the chat early on TikTok hooked up made this indicator here. Look, I put the ticker symbol in the top corner. It's great because TradingView doesn't know how to give you the option to not have the stupid symbol in the center of the screen. TradingView, please change that. Please, if you hear this, someone developer there, change that.
Oh yeah, coffee is skyrocketing.
So I'm saying I got a lot of coffee. This chart was amazing, but so I don't have gold though. So I have coffee, which is on the down. That's not the one you want. You want the gold. Interesting.
You would have thought that the price of coffee would be going up because all of coffee will be getting hit with the.
Yeah, that's see, these are good questions. See, I want to ask ChatGPT now. Ask them that question, or her, or whatever. Okay, we are looking at gold right now. So this chart is just gotta respect the chart. Top 5 charts of 2025. I'd also like to do a competition there. As of right now, the top 2 that are in there or in the top 5 is gold and Farcoin. Those are the 2 markets I would immediately they're getting some award. I can almost argue that gold's in a range up here, right? I mean, not much of an argument. So again, it's like the breakout side with this. If I love when you get a price up out of the range, like it takes out highs. And when I say takes out highs, meaning that there are, wow, the undo button is not, it might work in my favor right now. That means, let's say, hey, Will took a short up here at 34.38 on the dot and has been short on gold for the last, month. But he's he may round trip. He has not sold any. It's coming back, but Will would have because Will's smart. Say taking out the highs, Will's essentially assume that he has his stop loss right where he entered. And all of a sudden now he's in profits. But if price came back up, he may say, I'm going to close my position, or it just basically gets stopped out altogether. So for me looking at that, I want that scenario to happen because I want to think about it as a market maker, like on the other side. Like if I was able to turn the dial up and say, where do I want this price to move? I want to take out Will. I like Will, but I want to take out his stop loss. So I want to move the price up. And then, but when it falls back in the range, comes back up, and then this to me is like a trigger. I look for triggers, like something like this, where right here is where I would basically look to build a position on gold on a breakout trade. In general, gold overall has just been fantastic. And the other day, I know copper sold off significantly.
I was just going to ask you about copper because it went down 20% in a day off some.
This looks like this is a crypto. What is this?
Look at that candle. Don't you just kind of want to buy the bottom of it? Because the odds of there being a recovery just seem so strong. It's in traditional markets.
Something like this, dude. I want to see. Yes, to answer your question, I would do that. Where can I do this? Do you ever use this thing? This guy here. Once in a while, I use this thing.
No.
It just basically
just copy.
It just copies it, but you can stretch it and it just gives you like this, where it's like, hey, I see this three. This pulse, and then a bigger pulse, the same thing, something like that. Right, but this is me just speculating right here. But in general, what you were saying, yeah, I could see that as a Copper is part of the manufacturing process, though, right? I was thinking much more than say a silver would be. Damn, this is crazy. It's crazy, dude. All right, would long this. If this came down below $4 and came back up, recovered and reclaimed $4, boom, right there. Like this is a no-brainer long there. And in general, otherwise, you just gotta wait this one out because I think it goes sideways for like a years.
Yeah, because the thing is markets, like copper isn't like crypto. It doesn't move fast. You could take a position in copper and then be in it for 9 months, and then you get your 25% over those 9 months. In the meantime, you could have been in crypto and you could have been making a lot more moves. Gold's moving much faster than
100%.
Copper.
And gold hasn't moved like this in like decades. So it's almost like it just doesn't happen often, right? So
almost like the dollar is being debased on purpose. Yeah. Crazy. Who'd have thought?
Let's look at oil. I haven't looked at oil in a while. We're on commodities here.
Oil's cheap. I mean, dude, OPEC. So this is actually very, very relevant to the economy. It's relevant to geopolitics. It's relevant to crypto markets because it's all part of financial markets. OPEC, which for those of you who don't know, it is the organization in the Middle East comprised of some of the largest oil manufacturers who pretty much are the biggest influence on oil markets by the amount of oil that they produce. Now, since President Trump, and a big fan of this move by President Trump, when he went to the Middle East and made friends with a bunch of Middle Eastern countries that were all very important OPEC members, in large part because we need them on our side to reduce the price of oil, to put financial economic pressure on Russia to actually come to a peace deal in Ukraine. And what OPEC is doing is they are just announced that they are going to increase the amount of oil production by, I think it's 500 million barrels of oil a day. And it's pretty extreme. So also the amount of barrels of oil that the United States is producing is also on the rise. This is in large part due because if India and China are going to be pressured by tariff negotiations with the United States to buy less Russian oil, their economies still need oil to fund and like heat their homes and keep their cars running and all that kind of shit. So somebody has to sell them more oil. That's the United States. That's OPEC. That's Venezuela, which has a huge, it has like the third richest supply of oil, or like natural resources of oil. So I mentioned this while you have the chart up because the supply of oil is being increased by both the United States and OPEC. And you're seeing a rejection here on a line of resistance. The more supply of an asset, in this case oil, the cheaper the price. The cheaper the price of oil, the less money Russia makes. Less money Russia makes, the less likely they are to keep their economy running while also keeping their war efforts running in Ukraine, right? So all of these things are the macro picture that when you come and you look at the chart of oil, you should say, hey, as this comes up to a point of resistance on the chart, because I know the supply of oil is going upwards and there's a large geopolitical incentive to keep the price of oil low, to keep pressure on Russia to come to a peace deal in Ukraine, when it comes to resistance on this chart, it probably gets rejected. And now here comes the hammer.
Can I animate this? Can we trade view it now? I want actually cancel my request on the different spot for the ticker symbol on the canvas. I want animated emojis on my canvas. Can we make that happen? That'd be great. Thank you.
That would be great. And yeah, about does Putin want peace? No, he wants Ukraine. But if he can't afford it, and then his economy crumbles, and and it's hard to have a war effort if you can't put bullets, guns, people, and equipment out in the field. So that's that.
So on that note, what I'd say, this is with the context, which was great. I didn't know that. Thank you for catching me up. There's just a level. They got a downtrend here. I always assume it's going to reject. I would assume even more based on the context that Will just gave us there. But for some reason, if things change for whatever reason, it's a very clear, hey, if I want to long this, I'm going to wait for it to flip this level. I'm a child, $69.42. Flip this level and confirm it's going to break out of this downtrend and can stay up here. This is a long. It's just an easy, and there's a clear invalidation of where you're like, hey, I'll get out. But as of right now, it's not something I would not be interested in this either way right now, just because I'd rather wait for maybe some type of rejection, some weakness, or just stay out of the market unless you get some of a flip. But yeah, this is a pretty straightforward chart in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty simple. You're at resistance right now. Until it breaks it, don't set long. In the meantime, you can sit shorts.
Yep. So we'll just do silver. Might as well know silver's just a beast. This thing is.
God, chart looks fucking awesome.
Oh, it's out of control. It's silver summer. One of the shout out to one of my, I would call it probably the trader I probably reflect the most is cold-blooded chiller. So it's talking about silver summer since like March. This thing is just insane. Like this is a yearly chart, by the way. There's a yearly chart. I could see where I was born on this chart.
Oh my God, you're right.
Craziness. Oh wow. So if I wish I had there's a 6-month chart. Do a 6 months. What about maybe a 3-month? That give me a better view. I'm adding some of these. I need 3 months now, 6 months. Maybe the 7-month will give me the clear. Anyway, this breakdown here that was in 2013. If it has been underwater until this past year, like this year. So the fact it's now above that, like it's like if you could isolate and just look at, hey, imagine this here, this area, this is like a whole new world based on what was over here. Like everything from the past doesn't matter. It's like you could just forget you saw anything here. What is this going to do? And you're basically just trying to watch that and then see if it's going to be something that stays up here or just gets continuation. This thing's the beast. It's a beast. That's all I got. I don't even know at this point. I would, if you're not already long silver, just watch it because now I want to pull back like this, that, yeah, long there. Otherwise, trying to long up here is very difficult, but there's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I saw one comment here. I'll get my little grandstand here. Was the comment is actually sad how many people will lose money and stay away from crypto because of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. That's one thing that you know, like it's great. And I say this as a registered Democrat. Like it's great to have somebody who came in and said, hey, we're going to do these things with crypto, right? Something we've always wanted. The only problem is like once you have someone do that, you politicize something, and then you have some people just like have an automatic knee-jerk reaction to something because it's like, oh, the person I don't like, it likes this thing, so it has to be bad. It's like, no, it's too simple. Like I know we have like very simple lizard brains, like very simple lizard primate brains, and we're very, very emotional creatures. And it's so easy to say anything this person supports, I don't like because I don't like that person. But you know, in reality, it really hurts you. You know, it forces you to not keep an open mind for things that could be really, 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 really good for you. Crypto is something that should unite everybody because by getting rid of the middlemen, you're getting rid of costs, you're keeping money in your pocket, you're keeping freedom of your own money for yourself. Like libertarians have always loved crypto. I used to be a registered libertarian, you know, for all the things, freedom from the government, but also the progressive branch of the Democrats should be like right lockstep in them with this, like, yeah, fuck the banks, you know, power to the people kind of thing, like progressives, libertarians. And then like the thing is everybody should, like, there's no political party that should be really against it, except for like incredibly authoritarian regimes, because it just is beneficial to people. So that's one thing that does suck about, Republican Party, just like one party in general, just like really embracing crypto, because it just brings the automatic like politicalization of it, and that part sucks. But I guess that was undoubtedly going to happen at some point. The only beautiful thing that I have faith in is that because it's so universally beneficial for everybody, eventually the political bullshit will get just like melt to the sides as people realize how useful this technology is, and they go, oh, I was manipulated into not liking this. Okay, all right, I gotcha.
And this is why I cannot. This bull market has not been fun. It just in general overall. Like it used to be fun, and like to your point, everything's spot on. I think for me it's like the adoption of it. Yes, the policy side, right? It has to happen. And the way I describe it to my friends in the real world is that crypto adoption isn't happening the way that it most believe that it should have happened, right? Based on, let's say, to your point before, it's like, hey, this is how this actually benefits everybody. Those conversations haven't been had. Holy shit. In a long time.
There's not a lot of education happening.
Yeah, so it's exactly, and like that's where I think now it's like that next, because like my friend, he's a chief data officer. There's many at CDO, but at Citibank, there's many chief data officers. I want to be having conversation with him about decentralized technologies and how it's going to help, data from the enterprise side that's there. They're not having those conversations yet. They will in 2027, 2028, which is the enterprise NFT part of the equation, which, by the way, as of right now, still is probably one of the more accurate targets of things that I remember reading from way back, like even like Gartner's of the world, like 5 years ago. Still, to me, is actually a pretty realistic timeline when you start talking about things that aren't financially related. It's more like, hey, how do I actually make this work from a interoperability standpoint within big old legacy corporations? They're not having that conversation. It is what it is, and I'm not saying they would have if the administration was different, because no matter what, that the legislation part of the equation has to happen, had to happen, is happening, right? So this path, it seems to be, it's the faster path. Great, I'll take the win, but at the same time, I think the other benefits that are going to come with Bitcoin and crypto and just blockchain and crypto are not here yet. Like that's a whole different wave. So you're still early. I still can make the conversation that you're early overall. Yeah. It just may be a little bit of a bumpy ride until we get to that next phase. But hey, appreciate it for what it is now.
Yep. Doug, I'm gonna refill my water real quick. But while I do that, because I'm dying of thirst right now, my throat's killing me. Can you pull up PENGU?
Yes. Hold on. Do you have a Owala? Is that what you have here?
I do have an Owala.
Dude, I just got this. I could sell this thing to anyone, like literally.
Yes, it's the greatest water bottle ever.
And I don't know what are we missing? Like there's nothing.
My girlfriend was like, you should get an Owala water bottle. And I'm just like, what's the point? It's just a water bottle. I have another metal water bottle. And then I eventually lost it. She's like, go get an Owala one. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll grab this fucking water bottle, whatever. And so I also, when I last looked, I just saw designs where I was like, this looks kind of like a little prissy bitch Owala thing. And then I was like, oh, hey, green. And obviously, I like green. So I was like, hey, cool. I'll give this a shot. And then I got it, and just like after the first 2 days, I was like, "This
game changer. What have I been doing
my entire life?" Because if there was water in here, I can drink the water like that. I can do that. It keeps my ice. I put ice in it, and I'll leave it for like 36 hours, and there's still ice there. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry, I'm super thirsty. I'm done.
No, go do that. I'm gonna start kickstarting the Rise Up TikTok shop, and our first product will be a wallet. I can sell that stuff like crazy.
Hell yeah, sponsor us.
All right, we'll do some charts. Rapid fire. Hold on, let me share my screen. Window. All right. Unfortunately for the folks in TikTok world, that's what I'm seeing here. So you're going to, let's see here. There we go. All right, what do we want to look at? This stream is sponsored by Wawa. Yo, Wawa or Quick Check? Debatable. I go back and forth depending on what it is, but Wawa seems to be wanting to take over the New Jersey. All right, give me some tickers. I'm looking at TikTok here. Okay, nothing. All right, we're gonna do. He said chain link. There we go. He's doing 3. Sui. Will actually told me to do something. I forgot what it was. So sorry. Oh, this one. That's the reminder of me missing this. Sure, you flexing it. Sui, that's me missing an entry. Let's pass on that chart. Oh my gosh, here's another
PENGU.
Yeah, PENGU, that's what it was. Oh, Sui's. All right, we're done with this one too. I had such my airdrop. One, by the benefit of NFTs, I had so many worthless NFTs from the past. PENGU airdrop, like it was a couple months back, or when it was last year. Just.
I'm still waiting for my OpenSea airdrop.
Oh, please soon. You know, when MetaMask too. Give me MetaMask. Give me something.
MetaMask will never make a coin.
Yo, this chart, PENGU is wow.
Right? Dude, PENGU is going to be the meme coin of this year.
Because I see it. You see it in real life. I see it places.
I know. It's a real business with a real product and a real brand making real revenue. And it's a meme coin. What is this?
Do you know how much of their revenue is like let's say non-crypto related, like more product.
No, like they're not a public company, so it's not like they release their earnings.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. Anyway, yeah. So this looks super attractive. Like to me, if I'm not here, I'm a buyer here. However, I'm also a buyer if it pulls back to 2 cents. So it's almost like I don't think this is. I think if markets continue the way they're going, this is just going to keep going up.
I threw like fun money into PENGU. I should have thrown real money into PENGU.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew I should have bet on Pudgy Penguins.
Oh, well, great chart.
Pudgy Penguins. I still have their cards. I would love to. I should get these PSA graded. Honestly, the cards are probably worth something.
I was going to grab some of those. When you said that, I made a note for myself somewhere on some board that I can't find anymore to go get the cards because I wanted them because I'm like, that sounds sweet. I like collecting things.
I have several hundred cards and I have my favorites here. The best one though is, Romulus Who Roams. It's just such a good card. It's a penguin with a sombrero and a Hawaiian hat, standing on top of a Volkswagen bus, looking into the sunset. Gorgeous. I love it.
I want them.
Community is invested. Yeah, no, the community behind Pudgy Penguins is awesome. The people behind Pudgy Penguins, they're awesome. They're going places.
Ave, PENGU bullish. That was that. Ave is such another one of my favorite markets, but I just don't like this where it's at right now. I don't love it because like it's fine. Where's this monthly level over here? Hold on.
It's better than a lot of coins.
Wow. Oh no, from a DeFi standpoint, yeah. I'm being picky here.
No, even with the setup here, at least it has like some life over the past few months, whereas a lot of coins are just going sideways.
So historical levels to me are I've learned over time as like further back you go, they become less relevant. It's more for just like kind of perspective than saying like absolute, like, hey, this is a monthly level because so many variables here. But with that said, I see this needs to stay up here. I just don't see this having significant upside, like without coming back down here first. I'm not gonna lie. Like to get up here, I can't see. This is the only path, but that path is very difficult to do. This path requires, and even if it does this, it's going to have a pullback at some point up here to be able to get into this area.
Alex will be sad to hear that. He loves Ave.
Yeah, I at least just you see how this thing's kind of growing here. See this like this here, this type of this shape. That I have this is one of my. It's like dolphin head. No.
Oh my God! You just reminded me. We have to have a dinosaur. Like we have to have like a chart drawing competition where we draw the dumbest thing on the chart we possibly.
Dude, that's my. You gotta be quiet. That's my strategy to beat the AI. You don't realize as well. I've actually had a long conversation with ChatGPT about drawing unconventional, obscure shapes that AIs have been trained on because they don't exist because they're so stupid. But hey, it said I could have an advantage. So keep that alpha on the DL, right? Just wait till I create a bot that I spend 10 years on. That's 10%, less return than the AI that's available right now. But doesn't matter. It's because the journey. It's part of the journey. So it's a nice chart. I'm not gonna lie. It's a nice chart. I would just like to see this weekly close stay above 250. Stay above 250. You're happy. Outside of that, if you're not in, I look for pullbacks down below $200 if there was a pullback overall, but I don't think there is. Virtual's the other one too.
Random question for you.
Yeah.
You have to buy one coin right now. You have to hold that coin for 3 months. So a quarter, right? Can't be Bitcoin. Can't be Ethereum. Can't be Solana.
I can't answer that question.
Nope, you got it right now. Fire off the head.
I can't. It's a meme. I can't not mention a meme of the stream. I haven't looked at big enough markets.
I would buy PENGU.
Oh, PENGU's good. Yeah. I have other ones that I'm looking for my 50, 100x that are just based on narratives of TikTok in the world. So yeah, but
the ONDO's a great one too. I agree.
So let's do ONDO because ONDO I saw it before.
Ooh, got rejected from that zone. Let's see. We still have a higher low.
See, this is nice. Above 90 cents is really nice still. What's that here? This. Yeah, this is a nice chart. If this breaks out, this downtrend, like right here, like just roughly here. Screw everything else.
Oh, shit. I mean, it's breaking out right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice. This gets above $1. Let's say this flips to 98 cents. Let's just call it 99 cents. Let's call it 99 cents for what it is.
Like setting lines of resistance, I've noticed, by drawing the bodies of the candles as opposed to the wicks. Is there a reason for that?
I don't even really, I just draw lines like that are kind of directionally in the area that's there. Like if I could say, I don't, to answer your question, neither. I don't like that's, because what I really do is when I zoom out here, like I'm at these further up pictures, I'm just looking for like, hey, if I were to draw a line across the screen, where would I want to draw it? I want to draw it right here. Like that's it. Like I'm just looking at it just at a glance without going in that depth. Now I should probably, but I don't. That's just not my style. But it's the right way to do it, folks. Do it right. Don't take shortcuts. Yeah, this is a great market. This thing flips 99 cents a dollar. I would even like you could build a position here to start, not financial advice. I would get out below 85 cents and I would maybe like this is one of those things where let's say I had $100 to invest. I would market order 50 in right now and then either add on a pullback like here around 90 cents, like down here for like maybe a double bottom, I'd add the rest down here, or if it breaks out above 99 cents and holds up there, I'd add the rest up here. So basically at that point, then I have exposure, but I'm not overly exposed and I'm looking for the next move to kind of give you more clarity on where it's going to go next. What's next? Or are we going to wrap up here?
Well, let's see, guys. We'll do two more. I see Morpho and I see Cardano. Oh my God.
Area of interest 1. When was this? Let's see when I last drew. Usually I try to see when I last drew this was. So usually it's to the, oh my gosh. Holy dude. I haven't looked at this chart. I drew this without even this sort of true. Interesting.
Let it play.
Oh yeah.
Break down below.
See, this went the wrong way, but still. So it's still below, and I came back down. Ooh.
Failed that support. Now it's trying to break that support again.
But this is nice.
Yeah. So if it can get above $1.82, pretty much where it's at right now. If you can get to $1, if it can get above $1.82 and it can hold that, Morpho's about to have a pop.
Wow, we're in actually pretty bullish setups right now. I just realized I should look at charts more often. We're on the this warrants like an alert for me here.
I mean, I did just say Ethereum's posting a long signal on the weekly time frame. I say this was like an hour and a half ago now at this point.
Wow. The area of interest.
Wow. That's a very Owen Wilson. Wow.
I just want to tell you a funny movie I just saw. What did I just say that was good? I don't remember. It's gone. It's gone. What was the next one?
The last one that we will do is Cardano.
Charles token at the ranch.
Token at the ranch. Giving people rides in his helicopter. What have you done here? Oh, okay. It's not as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
Short area. Oh man, I love see. So the
charts that you didn't look at.
They're all. That's the worst part. Will is I was building this before the accidental meme creation, and I was ready to get this to like the next stage where I can basically just send charts in with this, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. I want an AI to trade this for me without me knowing. One day it'll be built.
You called that short.
Yep. Didn't touch it. Didn't touch it. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. This looks good too. You want? Now I'm gonna clear all this. I'm just gonna kill. Oh, it's gone. I don't want to know about it.
Yep.
That level is just like it's right between.
Right where all those inflection points are.
And even here too, it's like.
Oh, it's not in a spot that you want to touch right now.
See, you gotta get up here. Like up here is
good. What is the number there?
What's above $1. Above $1 is good. But like I don't like this. I don't like these candles here.
It's more like 90 cents, isn't it? It's more like 86 cents. Yeah, it's 90 cents. 90 cents is the resistance you want to get above and turn into support for Cardano.
Right.
Otherwise, you have a fall down to 60 cents.
Kind of up there, yeah. Yeah, it's good. So that's because I'm also seeing this expanding wedge that's kind of here a little bit like this here. I don't do too many patterns, but when I do like this, because then all of a sudden like this ends up doing, you don't want that. So you want Cardano to stay above 65 cents. Otherwise, to Will's point, you can see 60 pretty quickly. But the sooner you get above 84, 80, or in the high 80s, 90s, the better. It's just that this sell-off was so bad. Like this whole thing is just such nonsense. That was the stockpile, right? That was the stockpile announcement back in
the stockpile announcement.
The crypto the government shitcoins.
Oh yeah. When they okay.
That was when Cardano
I was expecting Cardano's chart to be better because they did list Cardano as
right.
one of only 3 mature blockchains like a week ago.
Yeah.
A week and a half ago. If you guys missed that, the federal government said Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano are the only mature blockchains. The things that set other coins back, like Solana and XRP, from being considered mature, was that the token supplies or the nodes are centralized. So decentralization matters in the eyes of the government, which is funny.
So weird timeline we're in right now. I don't know.
Yeah, right. This is a weird time. I don't know.
It's whatever.
Yes, it's ours. Yep.
We
love it. Hey guys, we'll take a few more questions here from the audience if you guys got them. Will, what's a good entry on Pudgy Penguins? Oh, we just had Pudgy Penguins up. Honestly, it's at a pretty good potential support zone right now. But like with everything, dollar cost average. It's the tariffs, bro. The tariffs on Cardano. Is Fartcoin an instrument? No, it's mayonnaise. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Fartcoin is an instrument. I could argue it's an instrument.
Thoughts on BitTensor? The AI coins just in general aren't particularly exciting to me right now, unless it is with AI agents. AI agents is where all the play is, and BitTensor isn't in that space right now. So I don't really care too much. I'm not particularly interested in it. I haven't looked at the chart. What are my feelings about Zeus? Zeus Network, it enables the wrapping of Bitcoin on Solana. I like that a lot. I don't know anything about what it's done on its chart. I owned it at one point in time, and I think I took a loss on it, actually. Can't remember.
I know it's even a thing. I'm learning new things today. It's the nose on the network.
Yeah. It's where you wrap Bitcoin for Solana, and it's like the solution.
So is that if I use Wormhole, am I using that backend then to do that? Because now Wormhole's a transfer. Because I'm not wrapping Bitcoin through that. I'm just doing a transfer.
I don't know. I'd have to ask. I think I'd have to ask Alex or Evan that.
Interesting. Good to know. Good to know.
And Magic, we did chart SWE and Doug's thoughts on SPX 69.
I haven't looked at that chart in like a long time. That's a
Is that a scam?
It's a Murad token.
Oh, okay. Just seems like one of those tokens that's a scam in like the comment section of every TikTok video.
$250 million market. Whoa. I don't actually. Looks okay. Nah. See, these are weird because these are the earlier large cap memes, like from the cycle that was when Pump.Fun was getting big. So October 2023 through March 2024. Like April-ish, that's where those tokens became right after WIF. So they're different. I'm going to call that meme season 2.5 in the Solana world, are the ones that were there. Those ones are interesting to me right now, but I still don't have a good gauge of how they're moving overall. But the fact that they're moving is good. Like that's a bonus. So I'll take that. If you are someone significantly in profits right now, I would shave some profits in general, just because with the unknown of memes in general and markets, having that at least set aside and play the casino, it's a better place to be.
I've also been pulling up CoinMarketCap's hottest trending categories of cryptos and keeping track of just what crypto trends are being hot. And I take a look at it every week or so. You know what's remained in the hottest trending categories? That's been a bit of a surprise.
Don't say AI agents.
No, it's been gaming.
Really?
Gaming is back, and at first it was shooter games were really the hot, and now a lot of like gaming tokens have been doing well. I mean, hell, I was wondering, had a notification, it's like Illuvium's up 11% today, and I was like, what the fuck is 11%? And I just took a look, and it was like, hey, gaming tokens were were up across the board 8% today. It was the best performing category of cryptocurrency on the past 24 hours. And I was like, oh damn. And I've been noticing that's been a trend over the past 3 weeks. Gaming's been creeping up in like the top 7, top 5, or even top 3 best performing crypto categories.
Know what's so interesting about that? I got pulled up just because Illuvium was one of the first charts when I started getting connected with you guys again. I think I came in and asked the question about the fundamentals of Illuvium because I wanted to long it back here.
I'm so glad I sold that.
This is November 24th.
Actually, I still have 10% of that position staking. Go Illuvium.
Look at that. I remember this move. By the way, for newer traders at the reading charts, like these are the types of like breakouts that just like broke a downtrend, like flipped a key level. Like those are my 3 things. It shows strength, flip it, break a downtrend, and flip a key level. Those are the 3, checks for me on a long, and this is great here. However, when it round tripped and came all the way back, this thing just nuked. It died, it's
almost like when the founder and CEO of your company commits himself into rehab, and then the game developers actually start all quitting and have infighting. It's actually bad for a company. Crazy.
That would make sense then. So I was going to put a question. I was going to put a question mark over here,
and then I will quickly give you an answer. Then also we had conversations. We had members of the Wolves DAO. The Wolves DAO, for you guys who don't know, they were on the Wednesday night after dark episode. One of them. They're the gaming DAO. If you are a Web3 game developer and you're in that DAO, you're in like the top elite of elite, like most in the trench game developers there. And they were like, bro, don't fucking touch Illuvium. That studio is a shit show. None of them know what the fuck they're doing. None of them have gaming experience. I was like, oh shit, fuck. I was like, all right, cool, sweet. Sell.
You need the experts.
I had already sold by then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So then why? So now is there any? Because this our resistance right now, a lot of challenges here in general, but it definitely looks like it's formed a bottom here, which is nice. So it's what's the narrative to push this thing higher? Like why should this move up outside of just TA? Otherwise, just do something like this and just go sideways. So I'm really curious on what.
Well, they were making some videos about gameplay in Illuvium, and I'm connected with a bunch of people in the Web3 game space just on Twitter. And there are some. I saw some more Illuvium videos of like people hopping back in and playing, like, oh hey, these guys are still cooking. So there may actually be some positive progress there, but I haven't dived back in. So it might be worth checking out again. I'll dive over there. I've also been seeing some really interesting videos out of Star Atlas's PvP. So they have like a shooting arena, and I've been seeing like some actual potential fun-looking gameplay for Star Atlas. Star Atlas has 2 tokens. The Atlas token is not the token.
Okay, what's the token then?
Polis, Polis, their governance token. Also, dog shit. Look at that.
Yeah, it looks the same. This one looks a little more promising though, at least on the lower end here. I mean,
yeah.
But we want to see some. This is a monthly chart. This actually is a first nice candle. At least was bullish engulfing, like swallowed up some of these guys here. But if I look at just your lowest level here, where's my here? Like. Get above 10 cents and then we'll talk.
There's like some strong support there at 0.
Yeah. That's 4 cents, yeah.
Yeah, but I might go dive into Star Atlas and like actually play the game some because I'm trying to play more Web3 games.
Get up there and we'll talk. Like that, just flip that level. Because like you need to see some reason on why it wants to wake up. It looks nice.
I still have my spaceship NFTs.
I think I have some too, actually.
I want to fly in that. I want to fly in my NFT so bad.
I think I have that. I think I have that.
4 or 5 years now at this point. I have a
AVAX.
bunch. I have like a whole fleet of starships because I was like, I'm gonna be a space pirate, and maybe one day I will.
This one, not so much here. This one. Oh man, this is when things were moving.
Oh,
it died. Everything 2025 dead.
Yeah, but luckily, Immutable X made a bunch of upgrades over the past few months. So I think once gaming gets hot, I'm very, very interested to see how IMX performs. But at the very least, I'm very excited to see what their game made by Ubisoft It's a card game. I'm very excited to play it and give it a shot because like it's the first AAA studio made game, so I'm very curious to try it and just kind of see how it is. It's called Magic and Fates. Fates and fucking what is it called again?
This thing.
Might and Magic. Might and Magic Fates. It'll be a digital card game. Which may not get some people super excited, but like, hey, if you like playing Magic and shit, like this should be fun. I'm gonna have a good time with it, I think.
Interesting. On that note, if this thing gets above 60 cents and confirm breakout here, quick move to $1.20. Like that, would.
Quick,
this thing, that right there, like gone. It just needs to break out. Though this looks all right. This looks. Dude,
last year, Immutable X had an inflation of 22% supply of its token. They just did a major upgrade. So this year it's only like 12%. The next year it's like 5%, and the year after that it's super, super small. So, there's good positive tokenomic changes for Flex, which has been its biggest problem. That and also the gaming category hasn't been super hot, but it has been heating up over the past few weeks. So we'll see if it's got something cooking. If it breaks above that line of resistance, I will absolutely scoop up some.
Yeah, put an alert here. Maybe like above, what's this, like 58 cents? 50?
Well, when that goes off, you text me.
I got it. Hold on. Let's do this right. Let's do this right. Text. Oh, they changed the thing here. Message. Text will. AMX. Well, duh. I was just going to say AMX. Okay, this is from August 4th.
And I'm still trying to get him on the show. I've been trying to get Immutable X on the show for a while. I'll keep trying. I have a member of the team's Telegram, and I'm just like, hey, how about now? Yeah, I will break you down. And I will have you on the show. I want to talk to them so bad. I think what they do is so cool. This is a project.
Right. I'd love to talk to them. I'd love to hear that conversation. So
yeah. But anyway, guys, that is going to be the show. So Doug, quick final thoughts, but before you do, I'll give you a moment to think about those final thoughts here. Remember, guys, we have the Market Watch show here every single Monday. We are live on my TikTok. We are live on the Rise Up Morning Show's YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're over on Twitter as well. But the number one place to become a really kind of in-depth and involved member of the community is going to be right now Discord, but in the next 24 hours, it's going to be our Circle community. So keep an eye open for news of that being released on Twitter, us talking about it on the show. I'll be tweeting about it. We'll have tweets from the Rise Up Morning Show's account as well, which is RumsHQ on Twitter. And it's going to be a much better place. There's going to be a lot more coursework coming out, a lot more digital products as well. Once Circle is out and launched, Doug, I'm going to be working with you to try to get some more digital products out there. Sweet. That'll be some of the stuff going out for free to premium members, some stuff available for purchase to members of the community as well as a whole bunch of people for you to build your network in the crypto space and the trading space as well. So, Doug, with that, final thoughts, words of wisdom, a joke, whatever you got, man.
I went to a concert on Saturday night. It was cool. Offspring, Jimmy Eat World, and Newfound Glory.
All right.
It was humbling, to put it that way, from the Offspring side. It was fun. It was a good time. So, but it reminded me the appreciation of music from the past. Just like I overlook it. Like I remember like getting the Americana CD for Offspring. Pretty fly for a white guy. It's a great track if you haven't heard it. But in general, what's that?
I have heard that.
Yeah, it's just like a couple things, but in general, but it was just a whole different time, right? So I just it was a good time. Got out, go touch grass. That's the message. Go touch grass. Markets are great. Markets have been moving for a while. Maybe you get a pullback here or there, 10, 20%. Okay, is what it is. But just for right now, we are in an uptrending market, and just appreciate the market for what it is. Don't make it too complicated, and have a plan.
Yeah, my final thoughts would be, last week I was sick, and then I started feeling better on this weekend, and I had a very, very, very social weekend. And then on Sunday, it hit like 4 o'clock, and I was at a farmer's market with my girlfriend, and I was just like dragging ass. I was just like, I could barely move, like my body hurt. I was just aching. I had to go home. So just remember, guys, don't spread yourself too thin, whether it's charting, working too hard, not taking enough time for yourself. Make sure you take some rest as well, because you make mistakes And in these money markets we play in, things move fast, and making a mistake can make you lose a lot of money. So make sure you're taking care of yourself, take care of your health, get the sleep you need, drink your water, get the food you need, and refill up those social and mental batteries, guys. Other than that, thank you for another amazing show, everybody. We'll be live again next Monday for the next episode of Market Watch. I will be live with Alex and Evan tomorrow morning, as always. If you're watching this on TikTok, it'll be live on Conversations with Evan, per usual, for the regular morning show broadcast. Until then, everybody, hope you have a great rest of your evenings. If you're watching this in the future, hope your candles are green, as Evan says. And I hope you all are good people. Keep doing good things, and you make money. See you guys later.